Yes, welcome back to the Management Information System, topic number 2. We are now to look at the objective of MIS with what is information system. Let's get started. The objective of MIS, the goals of an MIS are to implement the organizational structure and dynamic of enterprise for the purpose of managing the organization in a better way and capturing the potential of the information system for a competitive advantages. So those are the main goals of MIS is to implement this organizational structure and dynamics of the enterprise for the purpose of managing the enterprise in a better way and capturing the potential of the information system for the competitive advantages. The basic objective of MIS is to capture data. Hello? We can put some systems, some MIS system in different, let's use a certain company or industry. For instance, let's use the case of the Home Affairs, where we do our document, our passports, for instance, or our ID. Let's put it in that way. So when you get to the Home Affairs, the first thing they will give to you to do is to fill a form. Hello? Have you asked yourself, you are a Swazi, you are a South African, you are a Mozambican, you are a Zambian, why do you need to fill a form? Because they know you. No, they will ask you to fill a form, and inside the form are the necessary information that the Home Affairs need in order for you to have your passport. So they will capture that data, that information. Remember, that is the processed data that gives birth to that information. So for them to have the information about you, they need to collect some data about you. So they give you the form, and they will start asking you your address, your age, your date of birth, your father's name, your mother's name, your primary schools. They are collecting those data in order to have a solid information about whom you are as a citizen of that country. So there is some certain machine in the Home Affairs or the centers where they do the passport or the ID. So when they collect all data, they enter all those information back into an IMIS, into a computer that has been designed to collect those data. You fill the form, they will enter it back to the computer. So you call it a capturing of data. So they are capturing your data into the computer system, into the MIS system. So capturing contextual data or an operational information that will contribute in decision making for various internal and the external sources of organization. So capturing of data. So we use the MIS to capture data. Another objective of MIS is the processing of data. Not only does the MIS capture the data, it also has the ability to do what? To process the data. The captured data is processed into information needed for planning, organizing, coordinating, directing, and controlling functionalities at a strategic or a tactical or an operational level. For the Home Affairs to come up with an ID or a passport for you, they need to process those data that already captured into the computer system, into the MIS system. They will process it. The one that need the validation from one office to another will be validated. Then at the end of the day, they will give you a date to come and collect your passport. They have already processed your data, and at the end, now you have your passport or you have your ID. So when we are saying processing data, processing data simply means making calculations with the data. They calculate. Some they will check your address you give. Is it the real address? Your signature, is it your signature? Your passport page, is it your passport, your photograph? Then another thing they do under processing is to sorting of data. Which one come first? Which one is under next of kin? Which one is under family profile? Which is under personal profile? They sort those data. Then classifying data and summarizing of data. These are the things they do during the processing of data. Being done is one of the basic objectives of MIS. Another objective is the information storage. Information or processed data need to be stored for future use. Most of the MIS systems stored informations or the processed data, they store it for a future use. That's why when you lost your ID, they don't have to give you a new form. Maybe you lost your ID or you lost your passport and you go back to your home affairs. They will not give you a new form to start providing those information again because it's already stored into the computer system. Those information is in the MIS system. So they just go there. What they will do is to retrieve the information back. That's what brings us to the information retrieval. They will do what? They will retrieve that information about you to make another new ID or a new passport for you. So the system should be able to retrieve this information from the storage as and when required by various users. So MIS objective has to be stored information and ability to retrieve those information required by any various user that are allowed to use the system. Then the last one there is the information propagation. Information or the finished product of MIS should be circulated to its user periodically using the organizational network. MIS system should be accessible. It should be accessible by the users that connected together on the network. It should be easy to access. So on that one, so let's go to the defining information system itself. Let's take a look at some of the most popular definition given to the information system. Some say the information system is the study of complementary network of hardware and software that people and organizations use to collect, filter, process, curate, and distribute data. It's true. It's true. That's information systems. That's information system. It's complementary of network of hardware and software together in a certain organization to collect, to filter, to process, to curate, and to distribute data. Yes, that is information system. Some define it as a combination of hardware, software, and the use of collect, some network that people build and use to collect, create, and distribute useful data, typically in organization, is another definition of information system. We are still looking at it that information systems are the combinations of 1. Hardware, 2. Software, 3. Telecommunication network. Don't forget, we're going to elaborate more on this later in this module. Then another people define information system interrelated component network working together to collect, to process, to store, and disseminate information to support decision making, coordination, control, analysis, visualization, whatever. But I will still go on with this one that says information systems are combination of hardware, software, and telecommunication network in order to build and use to collect, create, and distribute a useful data, typically in organizational settings. Please keep this definition with you. Okay? Let's move on. So as you can see, these definitions focus on two different ways of describing information system. Hello? The components that make up an information system and the role that the component play in an organization. So when we talk about the component, we talk about the hardware, the software, the telecommunication network, and the role of MIS or this information system in a certain institution. So this makes us to come to the end of this topic number 2, where we have seen the introduction to information system. In our next topic, we will be looking at the components of information system. Thank you and see you again in the next topic.